Okay, it is upper 1 on Tuesday, June 25th, 2019. Here's the public service announcement. Make things nice. Do not waste your time watching this video unless you have a very specific reason to, because I would hate for you to waste your time. For those that do watch this, I would suggest correction. I think I pointed something over here. Well, it's down here. There's a little gear looking thing, and you press on that, and there's an option to speed up the video. So you really want to do this at twice the speed, because it's a process. It's a long process. Documentation and accountability is a process. All right, so started out with the warm-up. Three L-shaped chin-ups. Feel the snap, crackle, and pop. Everything opens up. 2 and 3. All right. Then 4 glide downs. Oh, man. Whew. Then now, the workout, I think I was making things a little bit too challenging, so I turned the weights down a little bit, the prescription down just a tiny bit, and I wasn't so comfortable getting as close to my edges. It just felt something, I don't know, like the warm up here, it kind of gets you a little bit excited to go. You're like, yeah, that's kind of what I want with the workouts. Consistency over intensity. I want to make it a fun thing. Hitting your edges is fun sometimes, but hitting your edges every, couple days, something just doesn't feel right to me about that. And that's not part of the consistency. Is way more powerful than intensity. And it seems like sometimes I've been getting a little bit too close to that intensity line. And I'd rather just see it with see if nice consistency does better in the long haul. Because intensity has often led to injury for me. Not anything major, thank goodness, but just muscle tears and just different things. And like right now, I still feel some stuff in my back from last week. Probably those pull downs like that. Not exactly sure what it was, but yeah, I'm definitely feeling it still. And it wasn't a real injury per se, but just things are taking longer than they should. Maybe it was, who knows, it could have been how I slept last night, because I barely noticed it the day before, so maybe it was how I slept 2 nights in a row. I don't know. I'm rambling, but that's part of the fun of this. Rambling, speaking, breath exercises, and a little bit of working out too. All right, this will be 7 inverted sit-ups. All right, let's stop the swing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
This actually feels better on my spine than normal sit-ups. And there's 7, I think. I guess a bonus was 8. So there's that. First couple times you do inverted sit-ups, it's kind of weird. You don't feel comfortable upside down. You gradually get more comfortable, then it becomes second nature. I guess that's kind of like a lot of things. Sweaty already. Alright. Let me check something. Okay. So that's it for in here. We're good to go to the second half of the warm-up. How long did that take? I can't believe that was 6 minutes. A lot of me talking. Okay. All right. So here we are in the other spot for the warm-up. Gonna do 13 push-ups, 7 air squats, 6 bends. I think that's basically in frame. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There we go. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's kind of fun to do air squats in an elevator. It gets weird. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That gets even weirder. All right. Yeah, just setting something up real quick. Not letting myself forget. Oh, goodness. Whew. That's it for here. I think we're ready to go. I'm feeling kind of warmed up. Feeling kind of good to go in a lot of ways. There we go. All right, so I already preset, a little bit of stretching ahead of time, but I preset this area so the weights are set up properly for this. This is going to be 3 sets of shoulder exercises. And then there's going to be a few sets of lat pull downs as opposed to lat push downs. So yeah, this, I might need to get more light. Pretty dark, but at least you can hear it. I'll give a verbal description using the shoulder machine for shoulders, obviously. Got it already preset. Gonna do some breathing. Gonna do a set of 6. So I'm gonna do the breathing right now. I'm gonna try to be loud with the breathing because you can't see. 7 breaths, and the whistles were bonus. A little bit of bonus for you on that one, or for me. It's been a long time since I've really whistled. I should probably learn more about whistling. And breaths like that are probably a very weird way to do it. The focus on that particular breath exercise was a quicker inhale with the nose, because the nose is usually slower than the mouth, but a quicker inhale on the nose and a slower exhale on the mouth. So kind of reversing the roles here, because usually I use the nose for slower breath exercises and the mouth for quicker breath exercises, if I can say that out loud. Okay, and now it's shoulder exercises. So I'm going to push, if you can't see, I'm going to be pushing the first one in 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, only going for 6 here, 4, 5, and 6. And I'm laying it down. I'm just going to go real slow. Maybe count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Count of 13 brought me to the end of that. It's a fun way to finish the set. Like I said, I had the chance to go a little heavier in the weight. I decided to keep it where it was from last week. This is definitely feeling a lot better than the dumbbells. I know that the dumbbells provide extra with stabilizer muscles and whatnot. I'm not going to be doing exactly a lot of feeder type exercises, and I'm obviously not going to videotape them unless somebody really wants me to. But the main mission is to videotape the main strength workouts. So like, yeah, bonus stuff, if anybody requires it, give me a call, say, hey, want to make sure you're actually doing this, or I want to see what it looks like, and then we'll go about, I'll videotape one of those. But a feeder, that like the 10 sets of 10 with lightweight and all that kind of stuff with 30 seconds of breath in between, that's going to be what I consider a feeder workout for whatever part. I'm not going to do that, but once a month. But I am going to do supplemental stuff, very playful stuff, just to get the feeling in my body, movement based, you know. So yeah, I'll be doing military press or shoulder press again, but just lighter weight, just going to go for whatever, you know, barely uncomfortable, get myself barely uncomfortable, just feel good with it. And then as soon as I put the weights down, the way I know I did a good job is I'm not feeling tired, I'm actually feeling energized. So I'm going to really change my mental association working out, because if I keep pushing against my edges, keep pushing against the wall, I know maybe this is a personal weakness of mine. It is a personal weakness of mine, that I'm going to get discouraged, and every time in the past I've lost consistency. I do not want to do that again. So consistency is much more important than intensity. It sounds like an excuse, and it probably is an excuse for not going hard all the time, going crazy, but been there before, went down that path. It's a path to giving up, so don't want to give this up. Accountability via the, you know, 1 or 2 people that watch this semi-regularly, including myself, maybe 3. So accountability is a good thing, and video provides accountability. Proof positive, I probably wouldn't have been doing it this consistently this long. I think I've missed 2 weeks, possibly 3, in the past 6 or 7 months. No, not 6 or 7, 9 months. Wow. Anyway, enough talking. I'm going to switch the weight out. I'm going to do a breathing exercise. So what I'm doing is lightening the load, and I'm going to go for 8 reps after this. So this first exercise is only going to be 3 sets. Everything after this exercise gets basically 2 sets, except for the medley on triceps. I do 3 tricep exercises in somewhat rapid succession.
and they're all one set each. The triceps are a fun thing. It's going to start out with the dips, which hits a certain part of my triceps, and then tricep extension, which hits another part of my triceps, and then skull crushers, which hits even another part of my triceps. And by the way, for people keeping track of the skull crushers, I could do them laying down on like a bench, but I'm just not going to. Eventually I will, and sometimes I do play around with that because it is kind of fun to do it that way. But that's going to be one of my fun sets to just randomly throughout the house, get home from work, feeling a little bit tired, going to do that, get energized. This does take some energy out of me. I know I'm going to probably fall asleep really well after this. This is obviously the darkness in here. I should have done this earlier, but as soon as I got done with work, I fell asleep. And it could have been one of those nights or days or whatever where you go to work, you fall asleep, and you just sleep right until the next day at work. So I'm glad I got up and put some ants in my pants to get this done because, hey, accountability matters. So me being accountable. Enough talking. I'm going to do a quick breath exercise because I've been talking so much. That's probably a breath exercise in itself. So. Set 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. Okay. Having a little fun here. That wasn't too bad. Definitely feeling it. So I'm thinking of getting near that sweet spot where it's not too challenging, but not too easy. Kind of like that spot. It's definitely a fun thing. Doing the heaviest stuff first with the lowest reps, then lightening your load. Doing it the opposite way. Doesn't feel like I'm really getting the effect. So doing it heavier weight, less reps, then lighter weight, more reps, then lighter weight than that, and more reps. That really feels like every single set is very effective. I used to do almost the opposites with what were they called, burnouts. You start out the lightest setting, and you go for 10, then you take a breath, and you go to the next higher setting, you go for 10, and just scale up the ladder. And it seems like the first few sets were kind of a waste unless those first few sets were part of your warm-up. So I guess that might be a good way to go in cold. But the warm-up is a chance to try stuff that you just kind of think is good for you, but it's just not your mainstay workout. If I am being a good boy, I do basically that warm-up that you saw. That happens every single day, whether I'm doing a strength workout or not. It's just a good excuse to do that as a warm-up to the strength workout. And I break it up during the day. I might wake up and I might do, okay, time for some glide downs and some L-shaped chin-ups. So anyway, a little bit of breathing, and then we're gonna push this to the next set of 10. Also, the angle of the way this
shoulder machine set up. I guess the angle of the chair is really set up to optimize the squats, and get that 90-degree angle in the knees I like so much. Not beyond 90, but maximize it at 90 degrees. Yeah, that is. So the chair is set up for that. I'm leaving the chair set up like that, but it makes it kind of just bizarrely awkward in an interesting way to do the shoulder press, because when I do shoulder press, I keep the dumbbells a little bit closer to my body. This, I have pushed my arms a little bit more forward than I'm used to, which hits it in a different way. But I think a different way kind of feels good, which might offset not using the little stabilizer muscles during the dumbbells, which is, freer weights, more motion, more stabilizing to try to get that motion really under control. All right. Since this is the last set, I'm going to do them kind of slow all the way through. I guess that last set, I didn't do that last rep for like a countdown or a count up for that last rep in seconds. So this one's going to be, I'm going to ambitiously try to go a little bit slow with this. So here we go. 1. Ooh, definitely feeling that in my back for some weird reason. Like I said, my back was feeling a little bit sore. Here's 2. Wow, this is really slow. Could be slower. I've definitely done it slower. 3. Usually when I do things slower than this, it's part of a breath exercise of some sort. 4. Wow, this is kind of getting boring and feeling weird, so I'm going to go back to speed. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10 with a little bit of a countdown. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 seems to be the lucky number on the countdowns. Okay. And that would be a way to kind of happily, easily increase time under tension, which is a term a friend of mine, I've heard it in a couple places, but a couple buddies love throwing that around. I don't know if I necessarily buy it completely, but it does make sense. But then again, anything you do, as long as you're working out and you're feeling it, almost anything, will get results over time. So, consistency, more powerful than intensity. I'm choosing consistency. I was on the verge of going intense for a little while there. Kept on going to places of failure. Not that you can see what I'm doing here, but these will be pull downs. Quick breath exercise. Then we're pulling it down. Okay. Wow, putting my hands up high and kind of leaning into it really kind of does some funny things for breathing in. This is going to be a set of 8, hopefully. Remember last time I did this, it was a little bit heavier, and it was tough. That's me pushing my edges. I lightened it up a little bit. I might need to lighten it up a little bit more for next time, but I know I can get to 8 on this. Yeah, I know. You're not progressing. Hey, I'm going to let my recovery do the progressing and really pay attention to trying to total at least 8 hours of sleep a day. The diet thing, I think my metabolism has slowed kind of scarily. The last 2 weeks, I've done a over 40-hour fast. Last week it was like 42. The week before was like, I think 48. And I've noticed barely eating Sunday and Monday, just like my normal, I guess it was pretty much one meal a day. My normal 20-hour fast, and weight just piled up. But then again,
I ate, like, Monday night was like some sort of eggplant parmesan type thing. So maybe my body just likes to make that stick to my ribs. I'm not so necessarily worried about the weight, but I am worried about like the lean body mass, you know, fat percentages, all that kind of stuff. I'm gonna try to find my optimum. I think my optimum for best performance and able to like log haul is gonna probably average out to like 13%. So that might mean that I'd be fluctuating from, let's say, somewhere around 20% and somewhere above 6%, you know. But that 13 will hopefully be the average. Life is fluctuations. All right, so did the breath, did too much talking. Let's actually do the exercise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Feels good on challenge-wise, but not looking forward to doing that next week. So, note to self, I'm going to lighten the load a little bit. Definitely feeling it. Definitely had some impact on my body. Alright, where were we? Oh, we're down there. Okay. Well, after breath exercise, this is going to be a set of 10. Then we're staying in here for the dips. Then we actually get to go into the AC, which seems like it's running pretty well, and go in there in a nice cool abode and throw out the second and third parts of the tricep trio. Not looking forward to this. Yeah, definitely lightening up next week. I want to look forward to this stuff. I don't want to feel like this is a chore. I've got enough chores in my life. I'm trying to make things fun. If I can make working out fun, then increase the overall happiness of my life. And hey, it's like I got 2 years to do this, so yeah. March 2021. Technically September 21, but for all fairness, since I really started videotaping around March, so it'll be March 2021. And honestly, I think as weak as these workouts look now, just on video, I think the first ones might have been weaker, just because there was no accountability on the video front. So, you know, video makes you tell a few less lies to yourself. Although I'm sure I lie to myself on occasion. Who knows? Maybe this whole thing about not going intense is just me wussing out. And but I am going to really, really push that initiative. That 2 things I want. I want to enjoy the workouts, and I want to really focus on that consistency variable. So the intensity variable can go down because, you know, fun. All right, enough talking, a little bit of breathing. All right, we're on it. 1, this is gonna be for set 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, that took forever. It felt like that was just a long time getting to 10. Oh man. I feel like I could fall over and get to sleep. Yeah. Chore, not fun. And for consistency's sake, fun, not chore. Lighten my load. I got a good deal of time to get this done. Consistency is the major point. Yeah, if you can tell I'm trying to convince myself of this, there's a part of me in the back of my head. It's like, you're lying, go all out, go hardcore, da da da. Been there, I've listened to that voice too often. That frame of mind feels great at certain points in life, but intensity all the time, that's not me. I don't want that to be me. I've seen where that goes. Nah, I don't want to be that human being. All right. Whew. Feeling good after a little bit of breathing and talking. And that cognitive place of, hey, the person I want to be doesn't need that intensity all the time. Just needs to know that it's a tool in the toolbox. And I can go there every now and then. And there's a lot of little ways to keep that tool sharp without hurting the other tools. The tool I really want, which is consistency. That is a tool that I don't believe I've ever really had for working out. I've had consistency for other things, but working out, not so much. So there's been at least here's a shameful fact. This machine that you probably cannot see, I have the whole complex. I think there's at least 1 year where I did not touch it. Just no working out on this machine for a year. Sitting here, being lonely without the love. Whew. All right, this will be 6 or 7 dips. Part of me thinks I should get a fan in here, but that would probably really screw up the audio. And documentation is kind of important. So, and plus, there's something beautiful about sweating. I don't have to go into any social functions right after this. I usually have enough time to shower up after a workout. Well, actually, since a lot of my showers are 30 seconds or less, I almost always, I can think of one time where I went outside the house after a workout without the at least cursory shower. Okay. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. How on earth can that feel both good and bad at the same time? I don't know. There's parts of that, there's aspects of that feel bad. There's aspects of that feel good. I can't explain it. It's like it feels nice going down and just, and then sometimes going up and getting that point where you really straighten out your arms. That feels kind of nice. But it's just like, wow. And I think, I've heard, I won't say I know this for sure, but there's something nice about it. Your own body weight exercise. I think I've lost since this time last year. Pretty sure between then and this time last year I was maybe 45 pounds heavier, something around there. So, there's that, which is kind of embarrassing, but could kind of be proud of it at the same time. I don't know. All right, so doing the kickbacks, but also doing the skull crushers. Not going heavy with these, but am going the script should say 13 reps, and yes, it does. So the kickbacks. All right. Let's throw these down. 1. Wow, that really felt interesting on my back. 2, 3. Yeah, there's soreness right behind my shoulder blade. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Not much going on with that exercise. It's pretty simple. These choke up on the weights, so you have a little bit more room. I'm gonna bend my knees, stabilize my ground a little bit. I'm in a hurry to get to sleep. Wake up, work out, go back to bed. I might play a video game, might do a little bit of reading. Definitely gonna take a shower. This sweaty body does not get into bed. 4, 5, 6, no momentum. 7, 8, that really turns up the difficulty. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. For one of my fun exercises, I'm actually going to try that with a lot heavier weight, just one arm at a time. I'm only going to do 1 set, and only just to see that, like I said, heavy weight works out your muscles and your joints, but you don't want to hurt your joints too much. So things I'm doing consistency, hopefully test the joints, but don't really, I just want to know that I can have something heavy and just be able to do that. So throwing that up. Well, this is a little heavier. I'll try 1 arm, 1 rep each with this. It's a little heavier. Let's see. Just to know I can do it. There we go. Let's try with the left. No, don't worry, that wasn't like a 1 rep max or any of that kind of silliness. Not going there with that. But that is next exercise. Only with the incline bench. Incline curls, which are kind of a fun thing. Going to do a breathing exercise, hit up the incline curls. It's going to be a set of 8, and then a set of 10. It's nice to know I can up the weight on that a little bit and still get it up there. Wow, feels like I'm holding nothing, which is exactly what's going on. Whew. So the triceps, hitting the triceps, because triceps are weird. Hitting it from different angles. Am I trying to be a bodybuilder? No. Am I trying to create a body that can adapt? Yes. The function of my body should be good. Also, I'm doing more weird functional things. I don't know if they're necessarily working out, but just trying different things that I do in my normal life. See if I can do them over and over again in certain ways that feel good. I think chin-ups are definitely a functional thing, especially if you go overhand. Underhand, that's less useful in real life. Because almost any time you can do an underhand, you can actually do an overhand. Although underhand's a lot easier for a lot of folks. But good news is if you do an overhand enough, your overhand will be almost your natural go-to. So let's say you're gonna fall off the side of a building, you go to grab on there, you know. Yes, I'm preparing to fall off the side of a building. No, I'm not. Thank goodness. One of the many things I don't have to worry about in life, and I'm so thankful for that. As a matter of fact, that calls for an appreciation bell.
very appreciative in my cushy, comfy life. Could be way more comfortable, could be way cushier, but this is enough. And in some ways, it's more than enough. I got my trusty rusty bass guitar. I got my trusty rusty acoustic guitar. Got my weights. Got a Hacky Sacker 3. Got my notebook. Got some stuff to read. Got a phone that works. Man, life is pretty darn good. All right. A little bit of breathing. I'm gonna sit down for this breathing. Just gonna lean into it, you know. That was a good breath exercise. Not a lot of time spent in the holding phases. Even when I was exhaling, beyond that whistling, I was still exhaling really slowly. So there wasn't much of a hold pause. I guess I'm kind of used to really establishing that hold on the after the inhale. Just because, you know, playing around in water and going underwater. Because if you're underwater and you're holding your breath, you're actually holding the in. The exhale, you're not doing a lot of holding the exhale when you're underwater. I mean, you can, but that slow trickle out of on the exhale. Slow exhales are kind of fun for being underwater and stuff, you know. It's like that pressure kind of relieves when you're exhaling. I don't know. All right. I don't know, it's a way to exercise a little control for microseconds to keep yourself from freaking out. That's another thing to appreciate. Breathing, right there, man. I got a feeling I'm going to be doing a lot of it in my life, I hope. And why not really, really try to get a lot more out of it, take it kind of to the next level. Using breath to manipulate my physical and emotional states. Using breath to center my emotional states. To get to neutral when I want to get to neutral. Using my breath to help my focus and concentration. And using my breath to manage my thoughts in an interesting way. I wonder if I can pick it up from here. I probably shouldn't try. So I'm going to get up a little bit, pick these up. We're going for just a set of, what is it? I think it's 8 on there. I'm reasonably sure. Yep, that is 8, and then there's 10. So this is the second to last exercise. 2 sets of this. The next one, I'm going a little bit lighter than I did last week. I'm just doing more reps. Next one's going to be lateral raises. Same thing, consistency over intensity. Although, even what I did last week didn't seem too intense, I know where that path leads. I know what I was trying to do and where I was trying to go with it, and I'm just cutting myself off at the pass right now. Not giving myself a way to, you know, blow this thing up, you know, destroy what I've built so far.
still in the infancy stages. It always feels like I'm in the infancy stages of so many projects that, you know, you feel excited out of the gate, and then you got to really figure out motivations to keep going through the middle and the end of whatever things. And after 2 years, this is not going to end. It's just going to metamorphosize into something else. And maybe if I get good results, that metamorphosis will be like, okay, this is the next level of my optimization after doing this one thing consistently for 2 years. But I'm not thinking about that now because the results are not even close to being in. Maybe I'll start thinking about that next year sometime. About this time next year, I'll start thinking about where this evolves to, depending upon the results I'm getting by then. So I would love to watch this video a year from now, if I'm on the path, and see where I'm on the path from this. And I'll probably say to myself, wow, you are really good at talking to yourself in an empty room. Good job, man. Oh yeah, you did a little working out too. Alright, these are just normal curls, not hammer curls. Let my arms just stretch out for a second there. Alright, let's do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh my goodness. Did not feel terrible. Did feel some interesting stuff on my joints. So I know I can do more weight than that. This is long term, so feeling my joints is a good thing as long as I don't feel it too much in my joints. I want the joints to, because joints heal different than muscle. So I think ligament is bone to bone, tendon is bone to muscle connections, and those things get hurt by the higher weights, but they also heal up. But it seems like they heal up a lot slower than muscle. So increasing my weight dosage to accommodate muscle might be a bad idea for my joints. So it's probably a good thing that I'm scaling down on the intensity. And I might even scale this down even further next week. I don't know. Depends on how my joints, well actually maybe 2 weeks from now. I think I'll keep it at the same. Not doing the increases every week. I found my edges. Now I can back away from my edges and go into consistency land. I have little doubt that there will be times where I just feel like pushing myself, but those will be on a basis of consistency. So, fun stuff there. I don't have to say goodbye to intensity. I just have to say it's a good place to visit, not a place to live. Okay. I don't know if you've ever done the bit where you just like no excuses ever for anything. No lies. The first lie is the last lie. Then you're out of my life. You know, that kind of thing. Yeah. So much I could say right there. But yeah, I'm lowering my standards on myself for good reasons. And upping my standards for myself in other areas. And good news, still no caffeine. I think it's been 3 weeks, maybe 4. So that's going good. And the other day I was actually taking a whole bunch of cans of energy drinks. 0-calorie, very tasty energy drinks out of my refrigerator of all various types, at least 6 of them. And there was a temptation for like a half second. It's like, oh, this is so cold, and this would say it tastes so good right now. I'm just like, well, let's put it in a box. So I did that, and didn't drink my caffeine drinks. So now I can officially say, don't drink, I don't smoke, don't do any drugs, especially do not do caffeine. And the only kind of supplement I take is creatine. I even reduced that down a little bit. That was a financial concern. I was taking 10 grams a day, I think it was. Now I'm down to 5. I don't know if that's making a huge difference or not. Maybe it's non-coincidental that I've scaled down to 5 and I'm scaling down my workout. I'm not sure. 2 reasons I'm scaling down. Number 1, financial. Number 2, money. And the sad thing is that 10 grams, it's only about $10 a month, but still, actually it's less than $10 a month. But I don't know, there's a fear in my mind that, like, if I do 10 grams every day all the time, my body, I think 30 grams is your top. Anything above 30 grams in a 24-hour period is just pure waste, supposedly. Just, you know, you're just going to be creating expensive urine, especially if you add vitamins to it. But yeah, I want my body to be able to really function well on its own without any kind of crutches. So creatine, is it a crutch? I don't know. Part of me is thinking of it as a prophylactic measure, which, because I love saying the word prophylactic, as far as like building muscle and all that kind of fun stuff. The research seems pretty solid on it. Then again, I haven't gone too deep into the actual studies themselves. But reports based upon studies and a couple different sources all agree creatine's some pretty interesting stuff. Anyway, that's all I'm saying about that. I remember a long time ago I used to avoid it. Now I'm like, hey, let's literally look into it and decide yes or no on this. The worst thing that can happen is my body loses the ability to make creatine, which is horrible. But I don't think it'll ever totally lose the ability. I think that's kind of impossible for your body to totally lose the ability to make creatine. Oh, then again, maybe I shouldn't say impossible. I should say highly unlikely, because there's probably some weird diseases that people get that totally shut down the creatine production. Who knows? My thoughts is you'd probably die without it. But then again, I don't know. I just know it's some sort of intercellular powerhouse type thing. Helps produce ATP, I think. And I think that stands for adenosine triphosphate. Wait, is it a phosphate or is it phosphite? I don't know, phosphate, I think. Sounds right. But beyond that, entering realms where I cannot remember what I've read. Entering realms where I do not have that deep understanding that I seek for things. Entering realms where I barely have something I can understand and make an analogy towards something I don't understand. Okay, that all being said, this is a set of 10. I should breathe a little bit of a breathing exercise right now. I'm just going to do a set of 3. Yeah, I should get this done before my legs fall asleep. All right, here we go. Lots of resting. That's the hallmark of these workouts. You work out at home, you rest a lot. I think I talk more here than anywhere else, which is probably a really good thing. In real life, people can't put me on fast forward. 1, 2, 3, 8, 9, 10. Thank goodness I'm up to the last exercise. That did not feel terrible. Almost kind of got into like a breathing in on the downward twist or the downward curl, and breathing out on the upward part of the curl. Concentric part, I guess. On the eccentric part, the extending part, breathing in, and it felt kind of nice. That's way and the tool that helped me establish the breathing pattern was actually the counting out on that transition of breath from inhale to exhale was pretty nice, or exhale to inhale was kind of nice. It's weird. Weights seem so much lighter at different angles. Like that, doing like this, and then just manipulating like that, where I got my back and my shoulders and all that kind of stuff. The weight seems so much lighter. So weird. Human body's so weird. It's kind of cool though. I like it. Kind of a fan. There'd be some things that fundamentally change about mine that I can't really change, but the good news is I'm healthy, so. Like, does my body really need all this fur? But then again, it's soft, which is kind of nice. Okay, gonna check the frame on this, and then gonna do well, gotta do a little bit of breathing first, but then it's gonna be a set of 15, then 4 sets of 5. So that's gonna feel very good. Oh my goodness, that's gonna feel so good. Then after that, I've been liking the idea of using the excuse of the end of a workout to really throw like 37 quick breathing exercise, 37 breaths, quick and intense, and then maybe some little bit of stretching. That's kind of fun. So that'll be after this. And I think I've done more than enough talking, so do enjoy the talking. The talking is actually maybe one of the things that actually keeps me coming to this workout. Oh, it's time for me to talk in front of a camera. And it's like writing a letter that you don't know if it'll get to the people. And then there's also the idea that it's like, hey, it's to more than one person. And then it's to future me as well. So that's good too. So it's going in all sorts of ways. And if there's somebody that's randomly interested in this, that really sits them down and like, okay, maybe that helps somebody out. That'd be really cool if this was helpful at all to somebody I don't actually know. I'm not holding a candle to that, but yeah, that would be really cool. Who knows? Maybe in a couple of years it will be, after I do the transition thing, and somebody goes to the back catalog and, oh, that's where he kind of started that idea from. All right. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, there's that. Let's throw out a set of 5. I'm going to see if I can do the 5 with the bounce, the wonderful bounce. Okay, the bounce takes a lot out of you. It's good though. So if you want that extra little bit, it's really hard to see what I'm doing. What I'm attempting to do, just show it with one arm. Bring up, go down a little bit, go up, then go down. That's the bounce. Heard good things about it, and I have to agree. That does get rid of a lot of that weird momentum kind of phasing. So that's good. But it's so good, I'm only going to do it once for one set out of the 5. The rest, I'm also doing a little bit of the elbow bend. Straight arms make it more intense. It's almost getting to that area too tense, so I'm going to do a little bit more elbow bend. My gradual increase on this, instead of increasing weight, I'm actually going to open up those elbows a little bit more. But back to the whole joint thing. You really do feel this in your joints. Gotta be careful. When I'm starting feeling stuff in my joints, it's time to, like I said, I'm doing this long haul. This is, the goal for this, the big goal, is a lifetime of health. Not to tear myself up, not to be crippled in my old age. The exact opposite, very functioning. I'm gonna be a functioning elder. That's the goal. Hopefully financially free too. So I can do all sorts of inexpensive, whatever I want things. In 100 years from now, who knows how many good things are going to be in the public domain, which will probably be all I can afford, reading stuff from the public domain. All right, playing video games from the public domain. I think there's video games in the public domain right now. I'm not sure about that, but because that whole like 80-year thing. But I think there's ways that people release stuff directly into the public domain. So I am willing to bet, I'm 80% just thinking, yeah, 80% that there's video games in the public domain, because there's probably people that have programmed a video game and just like, I want everybody to play around with this. And of course there's that Westernoth video game that seems like every distribution of Linux has it on it. And I always say to myself, okay, this is the time I'm going to mess around with that video game. I think I've started it. I've never finished the first stage of it. I think I've started it at least 10 times over the years. And it seems great, it seems awesome. But at the same time, yes, let's itch ourselves with the weight. All right, enough talking. The second set of 5. There's 2 more after this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Whew. Another set of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh! Speed round, I guess, on that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. All right, we get to put these away. I think that was 4 sets of 5. I'll watch the video later to determine if I was right. Reasonably sure that was 4 sets of 5. Yeah, if you haven't noticed, I second guess myself a lot. And why do you do that so much, man? Well, it's served me pretty well in the past. It's actually stopped me from making some huge mistakes. So it's done some good stuff. I'm gonna sit on the ground and stretch out a little bit. Should have moved the camera back here.
There we go. I wonder if this plastic bottle has what they call BPCs. I don't know if it does or doesn't. And the cap almost came off, so. Nice and cool. All right. So yeah, that's the end of the workout. Oh. Ooh, that feels good. Feels good on the knees and the body. Oh. Oh. All right. I'm so gonna I might even go a little bit warm for the shower. No, I won't. I'm gonna stick to cold. Yeah, that's another good thing. My electric bill's been pretty good because I have not taken a warm shower in my house. Now, over at a couple friends' houses, yeah, I've done the cold, then warm, then back to cold thing. I always ask, hey, but yeah, here, I think, I wonder if my warm water still works. I'm sure it does. But yeah, but even before that, it was getting to the point where it would take a long time to get warm. It's like, that's kind of interesting. That seems a little bit longer than usual. I'm not sure if it was always like that or not, but now it's just easier to go 100% all the way cold all the time, which it's Florida. The pipes heat up. It's really not that cold. It's as cold as it can get. Part of me wishes it could get colder. Hey, there's a spider there. Don't worry, this is not a brown recluse or anything. It's just what kind of spider are you? You look like, yeah, exactly. Well, I don't want you near my guitar. I don't want you to pick up, so I'm gonna scare you back into the speaker or wherever you are. You know what? Man, your leg's broken. Oh man. I didn't break the spider's leg. Come on, climb into there you go. I'm gonna take you outside. There's better places outside for you, I think. What kind of spider is this? I think I know, but I can't remember the name. I know they can't even bite through the skin. But look at that. I think one of the legs is broken on that guy. Anyway, so I'm gonna take this thing out, give it hopefully a better life. Don't know if there's a lot for it to eat in here, but the fact that it was coming out right in front of me. There you go. Enjoy if you can. Good luck to you. Anyway, so beyond spiders and all that, yeah, it was not moving fast. It looked sick. It looked sad. I'm sitting right here. I'm this big, huge thing that scares insects and spiders and all that, and the fact that bright light and it came out like that, maybe it was just on its last days. It's like working at the hotel and stuff back in the day. The palmetto bugs that you see that are out and about are the ones that, like, after the pesticides and all that, and they're the ones that are just like, oh, didn't quite die, and that's the ones that people see. Yeah, you can tell a difference in their behavior because they don't move fast, and a lot of palmetto bugs really do move fast and fly, and these guys don't even take up in the air. In a weird way, it's kind of sad, but people have no sympathy for palmetto bugs, and I can understand that. I mean, if you're the kind of person that judges things based upon how they look, yeah, I could see why you would be you wouldn't have any sympathy for palmetto bugs. Anyhow, who knows? Maybe you killed a palmetto bug that had a heart of gold, that was just kindness and wonderment and super, super niceness. But your furry puppy is just a sociopath. But anyway, now I'm getting into the weird realm of where I don't want to go into, because it gets all weird and judgy, and that's not me. I don't want to try to be very judgmental. A very loose standard for the rest of the world and a slightly higher standard for myself. All right, what were we doing before
We we evicted a spider basically, or I evicted a spider. Hopefully to better places. And also, like I said, I didn't really want to pick up my guitar and like, hey, I'm playing and something's crawling on my hand and just messing up my concentration. So yeah, it's self-serving, but I also think it's a nice thing to do. Maybe a win-win situation. I'm not sure if it'll have a better life out there. I think the thing was, like I said, maybe on its last legs. Cycle of life, I guess, right? Breathing. That is a good breath exercise to end this out on. I don't think that breath exercise is necessarily conducive to working out unless you stack a few of them like that. It definitely feels good for stretching, especially if you're stretching and you're on that hold where you're empty hold. I think an empty hold after 40 quick breaths is might be of some advantage. It does feel good. Just letting the good feelings kind of wash over me. I told you this video would be a waste of your time. Well, it's been good spending time with you. Later it shall be.